Hello and welcome to another review of cheap katanas that you can find in the internet. Um, I was recently watching a video from Shadiversity and he had a katana from Romans of Man, and he said it was very sharp and it was very cheap. So that's the topic of the channel, I think. So let's dive into it. I have katana board from Romans of Man, the Maddo Goddo handmade katana, extra sharp. And I was curious about what's the general offer of the Romans of Man. So the katana came in the normal parcel box with foam holders inside so that the katana wouldn't shake around. So it was quite secure that, but it was no extra box or some branding box. It's just a normal passing box. And yes, I bought it for $141 from that's the price on the website. At the checkout, it was $131. And as I'm used here in Germany, we pay euros, so my PayPal account was 126 and 82 euros. And then comes custom. Custom was paid for 23.49 euros, and in the end I got 150.41 euros from that kind of sword. So it's okay. I can work with that. So let's see, what have we here? First impressions. As you can see, it's like quite like it's a little bit of taste. It's a gradient from turquoise to dark deeper blue with metallic blue stripes in that, and the sagero is yeah, I would say it's a navy blue with a gold. And we have its scar, metalish. It doesn't feel metal, it's a little bit, it feels like plastic, and the scar is wrapped in also in plastic. That is something we want to get rid of to get more fuse. So I just get rid of it, and you can see now it's cotton wrapping, and it has a tiger at the end and some ornaments on the handles. So just let's say the nuts are expected a little bit loose, but it's not that bad. But I think for practicing or cutting tests, after a while, it's getting dangerous loose, as expected. These price classes doesn't have wraps that comes with good quality. The Same is artificial. It's not real Same. Yeah, if you can see the ray skin, it's, yeah, I would say it's artificial. So now we got Tsuka. I just switched to a lightning. From that side it's better. So here we are. Right. The next thing. Okay. Here plastic. All right. You see it's oiled, and we have a plastic sheet to maybe protect the saya from too much grease. So, and let me get rid of that. Okay, it's oiled. That's good. We have on a little logo on that. Kind of dirty, but it's okay. And we have a double bohi. It's also the whole blade feels quite heavy. So maybe a double bohi is not that bad in the end. And that's the end. We have a good sharpening process. And over here. And as I go along, from what I can see, there's no scratches, no filing resting, so it's could be a good care of sharpness or sharpening, polishing. That's fine. So let's a little bit clean up the blade. And if you clean up the blade and you press it a little bit, you can also feel if the blade is uneven. And I think around here in the bow, up into this part, I can feel some wavy forms in the blade, so it's not that even. And well, it's feather steel, so it's spring steel, so it should be a little bit more resistant and coming back. So now it's cleaned, we can get a little more impression of the steel. So it's oily, but well, I don't see any scratches from sharpening or filing. And from that side, it's okay. And let's see it this way. Some manufacturing polishing, little micro scratches, but it's not that what affects the sharpness or give us hint how it was sharpened in that way. So it seems to be very carefully polished. That's good, right? I think the form of the tip is quite unusual. I don't know if you see it, but I think it's had a little curvature here and going down, so it's quite unusual for the tip. So, all right, this is that part. Now let's take a look at the scales, weight and length. So voila, a little scale, and let's see. The weight is 1220, and on the website they say it's 1.5, so 300 grams off, I guess. And without the saya. Without saya is 967 grams, and the website says it is 1200. So yeah, there's the loss of weight. I guess it's a kind of generalization of lack of information on the Chinese side. Yes, it's coming from Chinese. Romans Man is a Chinese manufacturer. It's coming from Shanghai. I was getting some papers with it, and as you can see, it's delivered and it's not that sort. It's quite funny, but yeah, it's a Chinese factory, so no Europeans or Japanese thing, Chinese, but it's okay. And yeah, let's doing some other measurements. Okay, let's take a look at the length of the blade, properly measured from this point to this point, and we have quite around 69.5 centimeters. And let's take a look at the handle. It's 27. This is what I expect from Chinese manufacturers, because the handle is always too long for the blade. The blade are around 70 centimeters. That's not Traditional length of katanas is just like they manufacture this way. Real katanas or iaitos, let's say this, if you're doing iaito or some other kanjutsu related martial art, you have to stick to certain measurements. Normally, traditionally, it's measured in shaku, like feet, Japanese feet system. And yeah, it would be around 2.3 shakus, I guess. I could be wrong, but it's not that length that normally you have to do with European height is 2.5 shakus for 8.8 80s 180 people, or normal Japanese katana would be by 2.54 shaku, but this is, I guess, 2.3. It's quite short. So okay, let's do a little bit of blade measuring, just to have a idea of what kind of thickness we have. We have a little bit of, what is it, 3.5 centimeters at that kind of thing. And yes, I'm doing this 2.25-ish, and the thickness is round about 8 millimeters on that, and at the Kizaki it got 5. So that's the thing we have at this point. And now let's do some paper cutting tests. I will try to perform a real mat cutting test later, but now it's just like to find out what's all about these swords in this genre. So you can pull or you can squeeze. Coming up. Nope. Maybe like that. Well, not that what I expected. Extra sharp feels other. So let's. Nope. Nope. Yes, no. Well, you can see it's more ripped than cut. I think it's a lousy sharpness. It's further steel extra sharp feels other, but I will kind of test it later on the mat tatami test in an extra video. But that is the normal test. It doesn't have to say much about this test. This paper test is just like to get a first impression. It could perform well at the mud cutting test. Doesn't have to be this paper sharp thing. Actually, if you have a paper sharp cutting that would perform with this sheet of paper very well, you can assure that the sharpness blade is after two cuts with the mud, it's done. So it's good that it's not that sharp. I'm looking forward to cutting with a mat instead. So next thing, we try to get to the real handle. So we dismounting the blade. From here on, normally I try to get a little bit careful, but bear with me. If this is a Chinese sword, I expect it's glued. I expect this card to come off. So you see a little bit of violent dismounting. Well, from what I've expected, it doesn't pop off. So it's with very, very high probability it's glued. So I just try to get the Tsuka off. Yes. It's coming off. As you can see, we're moving. We couldn't get it off as easy as I liked, so it's gonna be the hard way. Not yet. Not there yet. Not there yet. Yeah. Ah, here we go. Oh, this is what the handle looks like. No ingredients, no manufacturing, just pure steel. Here comes a bohi. This part is fixed. I leave it on that because why should I get it off? But yeah, that's the handle, the pure steel. And if you're wondering, let's do a little bit of weight. The pure handle is 697. So round about 200 grams, 250 grams for the handle and the ornaments. The handle on there, it's clean, there's no glue, that's okay. So yeah, nice, it's tight. I think it's good. Oh, what was that? Grease. Ah, metallics. So it's not what I can expect from a Japanese sword. It's expecting for Chinese. So it's a little bit of iron flakes and sawdust. Right. Standard Seppa distance rings and the Tsuba coming off here. It's a tiger bamboo themed. Well, it's kind of metal, but it's still, you can see it here on that shiny thing. We have a metal there. It's aluminium, I think. Well, or something else. Zinc alloy. And a Seppa from here. So that's all. And here, standard Sageo. It's a little bit stiff, but it's fine. It has gummy on the end, rubber bands, and gold shidodome ornaments on that. And the leg, it's quite even. And the end, normal leg here. It's an extravagant sire. That's the end, and there are some minor things inside, but it's okay. It's dry. It's not glued or some oil or some fat in there. It's good. So yeah, that's what I've come to a conclusion. It's for the price, it's okay. I think the sharpness is something I have to test out with the matte cutting. I do this in an extra video. For the display ability, it's quite good. I think the overall polish of the blade, it's nice to see. There's no hamon. That's what I have to see. It's a yeah, spring steel. It's a modern steel that has no hamon, so its purpose is actually for cutting, and I'm very looking forward to do that with this kind of steel. The looks, it's a matter of taste. If you don't like the sire, don't buy it. If you like it, buy it. So the Tsuka is actually, yeah, I think I've seen worse with the nuts. It could be a little bit tighter, but from all over here, it's quite good. There's no really big threshold from the binding to the metal thing, so it's flush. Also over here, it's nice. You can grab it. It's okay. So for display and handling, okay. For cutting, we find out. This is what I expect from that price class. It's not that it's dangerous at all. It could be handled and cut, I guess, without any danger to ourselves. It's still a sharp blade, and it is dangerous, of course, to other. But from the blade itself, the manufacturing is fine. I hope it's a little bit information for you there, and we see us in the next video.